Welcome into One-on-One on Suddenly Channel 112, live from Studio 318 on the eve of Super Bowl 53. It is Super Bowl weekend. We have a ton of NBA stuff to get into. Try and guide Jason Colicchio through this show. Might be a little tough for him, but a blockbuster trade in the association, so we'll get to that. A ton of prop bet stuff that is going to be a lot of fun. We'll get into that. But we're going to start with Oklahoma State Athletics. The Cowgirls hosted the #1 team in the country in Gallagher-Iba Wednesday night. It went well for about 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then it did not go so well. They fall to the #1 team in the country, 66-58. Baylor improves to 18-1. The Cowgirls fall to 12-7. They're now on a 3-game losing streak. They're down in TCU on Sunday afternoon. Who schedules a game during the Super Bowl? Somebody did something wrong. But the Cowgirls will be playing Sunday afternoon. All right, so I'm going to ask you a bit of a stupid question because I know if you ask it to the Cowgirls and Coach Littell, they wouldn't want to hear it. But you're on a 2-game slide. You're down by 30 at halftime to Iowa State.
Yes.
And then you come back. You still lose by 18. You lose to Kansas State for the 8th time in 11 years in Manhattan. But then you take the #1 team in the country. You're leading for 3 quarters, and it's just not enough in the end. But can you preach a moral victory after this one?
That's tricky because coaches don't like that word, moral victory. Those don't go on the stat sheet. Those don't go on the record books. They'll tell you. But I think you got to be able to use something like this. You play with the best team in the country according to the AP poll. I still think UConn is the team.
They lost.
That's true. They are more vulnerable, but I still think, given the past couple of years, you have to give them the nod. You take the #1 team through 3 quarters in a really tough game, and then you let it slip away. And this team's really young. Who knows? Maybe if these guys or these girls, I should say, were seniors, juniors, instead of mostly freshmen and sophomores.
Right.
Maybe they go the distance. Yeah, I think this is a great learning tool. It's kind of the same thing that's going on with Cowboy basketball. There's a lot of young guys, a lot of learning to do in situations like this.
There's not a lot of young guys, actually.
Well, that's
There's
true.
a small number of people on the team.
That's true. But I think you got to look at this, and it's a learning tool. You got to be able to look at this, and if you're the coach, you got to be able to look and say, guys, this is what went wrong. We need to work on not doing this in other situations. And I think it's going to be a great learning experience. I think they're going to turn stuff around in TCU. I think they'll come out of there with a win. But
they beat TCU 75-71 earlier in the season.
So, I would expect a similar situation. Then they come back for Bedlam basketball. That's going to be on, Wednesday?
Yes.
So people need to go out for that. That'll be in Gallagher-Iba Arena next Wednesday. I think this was a great game, despite the result. I think it was a great game for the Cowgirls.
Well, I think if you're Coach Littell, you're talking about no one's going to say, hey, moral victory.
Yeah.
But you can tell them you should have won that game.
Yeah.
So you should win every game from now on out if you can play the #1 team in the country. Because if you play that way against #1 and you play that way at TCU against the Sooners and throughout the rest of the schedule, you're going to win out. And obviously that's not going to be the case. But if you can play that way, you can win. You can beat anybody.
Right.
And that's the message that he's got to give to the Cowgirls. So some not so good news, or good news, depending on how you look at it. Lamont Evans, the former Oklahoma State Cowboy assistant coach, was almost named the head coach of the program, was arrested 2 Octobers ago for his involvement in the FBI investigation into college basketball. He is going to plead guilty to bribery charges. How much does this help move that cloud away from the program, or does the more his name pops up in headlines just make it worse for the Cowboys?
I think the further away you get, every day gets better with this kind of deal. And the fact that he's not going to go to trial and fight it, he's going to plead guilty. I think they recommended 2 years behind bars for Evans. So I think as soon as all this is just wrapped up and he's either spends his time in jail, or there was a report he could reportedly be reported back to Barbados, where he's from. So I think the sooner whatever happens, the better it is for the program.
I think you're right. As soon as this is over, the Cowboys can move forward because whether people want to admit it or not, and Mike Boynton, by the way, has handled it better than I think anyone else in the country can handle it, and I truly mean that. He's a class act. He's handled every question about this with grace, and he's very professional about it. But the faster this gets over with, the faster the Cowboys can look towards the future. So
Right.
I think this, although it doesn't sound good now, is a good sign for Oklahoma State in the long
Yeah.
run. So this weekend, another game in Galgaraiba. They take on K-State. K-State's coming off a bad loss, 65-53,
Yeah.
to a not very good Texas A&M team. On the contrary, the Cowboys got a big win over South Carolina. Well, South Carolina's a struggling team as well,
Right.
but so is Oklahoma State. They pull off a big win in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. They both had the week off, which is very good and bad for the Cowboys. Good
Yeah.
for the Cowboys because they need their
Rest.
legs back
Yeah.
under them. Bad because Kansas State cannot be happy with that performance, and they've been waiting a week to change everyone's mind.
Yeah. This is going to be, I think, as much rest as our guys are getting, K-State guys are getting just as much rest, and they have more guys, and they have a great defense. It's going to be really hard for our offense, I feel like, to score, even though we're at home and, you play better at home. It's gonna be a tough game. We need a good crowd out there, because if not, this could get ugly.
They're one of the probably deeper teams in the
Yeah.
Big 12. They're coming off an Elite Eight trip, and they start out 0-2 in the conference. They're down 21 at halftime to West Virginia in their third conference game.
Mm-hmm.
They come back and win that at the end, and now, Logan, they're leading the Big 12 conference, tied with Baylor.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? But it's Baylor and K-State atop the Big 12, sitting at 5-2. Their numbers aren't flashy. They're not going to jump off the computer screen at you, but they are a former Elite Eight team.
Yes.
They are incredible on defense, and when you're looking at what the Cowboys struggle with, fouls, going to the line, obviously fatigue, number 3, and number 4 is the long scoring droughts
Right.
that the Cowboys can go on, and you kind of have to worry about that, along with fatigue and then going on, a 6 or 7 minute scoring drought like they've done before against this K-State team.
Right, and you mentioned K-State's elite defense. Do you know how many points they allow per game?
Probably close to 53, 54.
58.8. That's fourth.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No,
for
that is
Oklahoma
not a good
State.
sign at all. I watched K-State play Texas Tech, and Texas Tech was one of these. They were possibly going to upset Kansas and win the Big 12 for the first time in however many years since Oklahoma State won it, and K-State shut them down like it was nothing. So I'm very worried about how Oklahoma State's going to be able to get into their offense against that K-State defense. Like you mentioned, I think they're going to have a hard time getting to the line. I think they're going to have a hard time finding easy baskets. I think they're going to be really tired at the end of it, because I feel like it's going to be a lot of Lindy Waters dribbling out there, a lot of Cameron Griff dribbling out there, and a lot of Isaac Likely just dribbling around looking for someone to pass the ball to, but it's going to be
Right.
hard to find those guys. I'm very wary of this Kansas State team. Like you said, tied for first in the Big 12 with Baylor, which I think if you gave us each 100 guesses, we would not have guessed those two would be tied.
Mike Boynton did say he picked the Wildcats to win the Big 12.
I mean,
But Baylor,
that just proves how smart he is.
yeah. I mean, well, you're looking at it in Kansas, even though they're not the favorite and they're not the
Right.
Kansas that they have been in the past. Who are you going to give this Big 12 title to? I'll ask you right now.
Yeah.
Sitting here, what is it, February 1st?
Yep.
Who's your Big 12 champion?
K-State.
You're going to give it to K-State.
I am.
So they haven't played the Jayhawks yet.
Right.
So I don't care how good Kansas State is. I don't care how bad Kansas might be. And when I say bad, that's bad by the elite Jayhawks
Kansas
standard.
Yeah.
That's not everyone else's standard. But they're 16-5. They're 5-3 in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to go to Manhattan, and then the Wildcats are going to have to travel to Allen Fieldhouse, I'm taking the Jayhawks in both those games, because history will show you, just like it does in Bedlam football, doesn't matter the matchup, doesn't matter how good or bad the teams are, you're going to give the favor to the team that's dominated the series, and that's going to be the Kansas Jayhawks.
Those are good points.
Thank you.
The only thing I'll say is defense definitely travels, and Kansas's defense is it's not bad, but it's definitely not at the level of K-State's. I think without Azubuike and some of the other guys they've lost to injury, Kansas is just a totally different team. They're a total wild card team. We have no idea what they're going to play like. Did you watch that Kentucky game? That Kentucky
Parts
Kansas?
of it, yes.
They had some mind-blowing turnovers at like mid-court, and I just watched and I was like, what? This doesn't look like any kind of Kansas team. This doesn't look like a Big 12 basketball team. It was bad. So I'm kind of wanting to see. Those will be interesting matchups. I think certainly whoever wins those, not necessarily both, but if Kansas State can win in Allen Fieldhouse, do they play in Allen Fieldhouse before they play at home?
They play at K-State actually
Okay.
next week. So
Okay, so
midweek they're playing at K-State.
if they can, I think if they can win that first game, I think they can win. Maybe they don't win at Allen Fieldhouse, but I still think they can win enough to win the Big 12.
Well, they still have Texas Tech twice. They have the Wildcats twice. They have the Cowboys twice, which in years past has been a bit of a trouble, but a different story. A West Virginia team that they're going to blow out because they lost.
Yeah, Bob Huggins will quit at halftime when his team has 15 points.
And they have TCU, the Sooners, and Baylor. So, 3 of the top teams of the Big 12 left. Texas Tech twice, the Cowboys twice, and the Sooners and Baylor. So, they have a difficult stretch, but I'm still, if I were a betting man, I'm going with the Jayhawks.
I couldn't fault you. They've won it how many years in a row at this point?
This will be 14 if they are able to pull it off this year.
I can't fault you for that.
The Big 12 is stacked, Logan. You have Iowa State, Texas Tech, Kansas State, and Baylor really to logjam there to lead the conference. So, it could get very exciting going down the stretch here. Another college basketball story while we're on the topic, and I think it's a little ridiculous, but Penny Hardaway, an incredible NBA player, is now the head coach at his alma mater, Memphis, has said that his background in the NBA and on his coaching staff is eliciting jealousy from around the country and other coaches. I think that's laughable.
I agree. I don't know why, but Penny Hardaway has this deal where he just sees things different than you and I do, Reed. Do you remember the Tennessee game? Yeah,
took shots at the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, and he said they were like at their bench, like trying to start a fight, and Penny had to break it up. But like you just watch it, that's not how it happened. Like the way Penny Hardaway describes it, he lives in like some alternate dimension. Like he does not exist on the same level as you and I. He sees something totally different that no one else sees. What
I think is ridiculous about this is there's NBA people and people that have NBA relationships littered all over college basketball. And people are impressed by they're not a good basketball team this year, but people are impressed by his ability to recruit early on. Who's he recruiting?
Kids from Memphis that he coached in high
school.
That
he coached on an AAU team, kids that he already knows. Once that is gone, once we get through this wave of 2 or 3 years of kids that played for Penny Hardaway, can he recruit?
Right.
So this might be a disaster in the making for Memphis. And maybe he can recruit. Maybe he can. You can't take that away from him, but you just don't know yet. And the things he's said, just worry about playing ball.
Right.
Don't involve yourself with all this other stuff. But I saw this headline, and I figured you and I would probably be on the same page about it. But Penny Hardaway has got some stuff to figure out at Memphis. They actually lost to the Cowboys early on.
They just lost to Tulsa. They're going to South Florida, and then Cincinnati. They've got a pretty tough schedule going up. They're 13-8 right now in his first season. They're 4th in the American Conference. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he's actually a good coach. Because I'm on your side. The recruiting thing, it looks good right now, but he knows those kids. He's coached them for years. He won championships with them when they were in middle school, high school, that kind of deal. He knows these kids. So we'll see after that pool of talent dries up what he can really do.
They committed as soon as he got the job.
Yeah.
And he's losing to Tulsa.
Yeah.
There's a long way to go. And, Tennessee now is still the number 1 team in the country. They're not even the best in their state, not even their region, because you have Kentucky not too far away.
Right.
So a lot of work there to do in Memphis. But it's about time to get into your favorite segment, the NBA, because of the blockbuster trade we mentioned earlier. Kristaps Porzingis is headed to Dallas. Big players, some picks on their way, but we'll break that down right after this.
Engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Welcome back to One on One on Suddenly Channel 112, live from Studio 318. Logan, you're laughing
on the playground
at Luka's slow motion antics that are just incredible. He is now joined by Kristaps Porzingis in Dallas. The Dallas Mavs send Dennis Smith Jr., Wesley Matthews, DeAndre Jordan, and 2 future ones to the Knicks for Kristaps Porzingis, Trey Burke, Courtney Lee, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Audio booth, Jason Cliccio, big Knicks fan.
Yes.
I think he's doing better today than he was. I'm going to try and comfort him, but break down this trade. It's always too early,
right?
And Mavs fans are out of their mind. They're convinced that they've won this trade. Kristaps hasn't played in a year, and he won't play this year, but just your initial reaction, who won this trade?
If Kristaps can play, the Mavs win. If he can play and he's not necessarily himself, Mavs can still win. I mean, the Knicks did this for cap space.
Absolutely.
We won't know what the Knicks really got out of this trade until the summer, and if they can get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the same team, then the Knicks might win. You know, it's all relative to what happens in July, but on paper, Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway's a great player. He is way overpaid, but he can give solid minutes as a second or third option, which I think he will be in Dallas. Dennis Smith Jr. gets a fresh start in New York. DeAndre Jordan and Wesley Matthews, I've heard, are potential buyout targets, so they could be on another team before the end of the year anyway. Those picks could just be awful. Those picks could turn into 20, 22, 27. They could be way later.
Because they still have to send their pick to Atlanta.
Right, and their pick is top 5 protected to Atlanta this year. So Dallas has all the incentive in the world to, A, not let Kristaps finish out the rest of the year, and just finish it out. Because, I mean, you're not going to win a ton of games with Luka, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Trey Burke and all those guys.
And a 60-year-old Dirk.
Right. The Mavs did trade away probably they probably traded away 2 of their top 4 players, Dennis Smith Jr. and DeAndre Jordan. The Knicks traded away actually their 3 best players, probably.
Probably, yeah.
So, the Knicks are all in the tank. They're going to try and get Zion. Unfortunately, the new rules have kicked in, so they share the same odds to get the first overall pick as Phoenix and Chicago right now at 14%. So we'll have to see if this pays off, if they can get that number 1 overall pick. I hope Porzingis can play, because those are 2 of the most exciting guys in the league right there, Luka Doncic and Porzingis. Those 2 together would be great. They might as well move to Europe and just play in the European League. That's basically what the Mavs are at this point. I like the trade for the Mavs. I think it makes them a lot better going forward, especially if they can keep Porzingis. But we'll have to see how good he is coming back from an ACL injury. And I don't know if we'll get to see that this year.
ACL injuries are hard to come back from.
Right, especially if you're 7 foot,
7'3".
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So the future for Porzingis is kind of unknown.
Right.
Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, reported he's a free agent. He's going to be
he's restricted.
Right, but he's going to have to re-sign with Dallas to make this deal really work for the Mavericks. Right. But it looks like he intends to. But people are mad at the Knicks front office.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks president Steve Mills, now he said Porzingis wanted out. He wasn't on board with this plan.
Of course you're going to say that.
And you don't really know what the plan is. If you're looking at history, the Knicks plan probably sucked, quite honestly. It probably was not a good plan, and anyone with a brain would want out.
Yeah.
But that's the reports from the Knicks, and you really can't blame Porzingis. But his health, he's been so brittle.
Yes.
He's unknown. Now, here's my little speech to Knicks fans, especially Jason Colicchio. People are convinced that there's no way they can land Kyrie and Kevin Durant. And to land both of them, probably not. And there's a small percentage that you land Kevin Durant. I don't think he's going back to Golden State. But you have the ability to get 2 max contracts. You're going to have a lottery pick.
Right.
And you've got 2 future ones. Plus you have Kevin Knox, who's going to be a really, really good player. Players around the league, a lot of people have respect for Coach Fizdale.
Yes.
I get there at 10 wins. They're not a good team. If they can get James Dolan to keep playing with his garage band and remove himself from the organization, they will be that much better.
Right.
But their front office today is a lot better than it was 2 years ago.
Right. I mean, just to kind of bring up with their front office a couple of years ago, Phil Jackson did draft Porzingis. He gets a lot of hate for everything else he did wrong, and he did plenty wrong. But he did kind of get that right, and that turned into maybe Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Like, it's hard to say. It's hard to say where these guys are going to go because they're not going to come out and be like, yeah, I'm just going to leave after this year, because then that's obviously not good for the locker room. That's not something you say in front of a camera. But everything behind closed doors, everything that Bleacher Report and all those guys put out points to Kevin Durant at least going to New York. And Kyrie has kind of thrown it up in the air at this point. He was asked today about his free agency, and early on, before the season, he got in front of the season ticket holders and said he was staying. And he was asked that question today, and he was like, ask me July 1st about my free agency. So
things have definitely changed.
Yes, and that's why you should never believe when these guys go out in front of people and say, I'm going to re-sign. Don't believe it until they do it.
Absolutely, and you're looking at this Knicks, franchise right now.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're probably going to screw it up, honestly. I was trying to be positive about it, but they're probably going to screw it up. But if you're a Knicks fan today, you have to look at it. And honestly, I think the Knicks today, their future is brighter 5 years down the road than it was at this time yesterday. They've got potential. Yeah. At least they've set themselves up to have a chance at these guys.
Right.
Whereas before, they had no chance.
Right. And on the inverse side, I think Dallas is far better than they were yesterday. I think a building block of Porzingis and Luka Doncic is much better than a building block of Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. just didn't fit. He was not long for Dallas after they drafted Luka Doncic. They almost traded him earlier in the season. He ended up coming back for a couple of games and then played one last game with the Mavs against the Knicks and then became a Knick. My thing is, how do you play guys like Dennis Smith Jr. and Kevin Knox? Are you going to play them the whole rest of the way and let them do whatever they want? Because Dennis Smith Jr. and those guys, Kevin Knox too, they could pop off and accidentally win you games you're supposed to lose.
Right.
New York at this point has to lose. And I think they realize like they have to just put it all away. And that's why you got to buy out DeAndre Jordan and Wesley Matthews. Because those guys are too good not to play, but they're also going to help you win, and you don't want to do that.
Right.
So you got to get them off the team somehow.
The Knicks aren't even good at being bad. Because down
this
the
is
stretch,
the first year they are. This is the first year they've done it right.
Oh, Logan, there's still plenty. We're not to the All-Star break yet. They're going to go on a tear the last 20 games of the season and win 12 out of their last 20 and screw themselves out of a lottery pick. They're not good at being bad. That's how bad this organization has been. But I just can't help but think they're in a better position now. They dumped some bad contracts. Obviously, they took on some bad contracts, but they're going to buy those guys out. By the way, we went through all this DeAndre Jordan and Dallas Mavericks drama for the past 4 years for this.
Yeah.
We went through all that for this.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with DeAndre Jordan getting locked in a house just to get traded.
Yeah,
that had to
hurt. That had to hurt.
For sure, but yeah, those guys are both expiring too. The contracts the Knicks took on. Wesley Matthews is gone after this year, whether you buy him out or not. DeAndre Jordan, the same thing. The only guy you got long term is Dennis Smith Jr. The Mavs, on the other hand, they haven't. I won't say they've kind of ate up their salary cap, but Tim Hardaway Jr. is a big cap hit, and so is Courtney Lee. Courtney Lee, I believe, only has 2 years left on his deal, but Tim Hardaway Jr. has a lot of money coming his way, so they're gonna. I'm interested to see if they move him at a later date. Obviously not this season with the trade deadline being a week from yesterday. So it'll be interesting.
So 2 winners can be true. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the Oklahoma City Pacers trade, the Paul George for Victor Oladipo and Sabonis trade. I think both teams won from that. In their current situations, no one was going to get any better, and now they're both better for it. But that's very rare.
Yeah.
Normally there's one winner and one loser.
I just don't think Knicks fans should be as upset as they are, and I don't think Mavs fans should be excited because Mavs fans are acting like they've won the 2021 title.
Right.
And it's just, wait, Porzingis hasn't played.
Yeah.
They just pump the brakes a little bit, hope he's going to get healthy.
Yeah. And I mean, do you think maybe he's ready to go, but the Knicks were like, you're way too good, we're trying to lose. He didn't like that.
I don't think he's ready to go.
I think he thinks he is.
Which could be a very dangerous. He's worked out for close to an hour, was shooting some jumpers, and was dunking the basketball not too long ago. But it's not the same as if you tear your ACL.
Right.
He's 7'3",
right,
and he's had other injuries before. He's brittle.
Yeah.
And I mean, what did he say a year ago? I'm a lizard. I recover super fast.
Yeah.
That's not the. If you're the Mavs, they're not going to make the. They may squeak in the playoffs if they go on their own, but it's probably unlikely this year. If you're Mark Cuban and Rick Carlisle, you're telling him, we have a lot of potential, and it's built around you and Luka. Don't screw it up. Just sit down, put ice on your knee, work out, rehab, do all those things so we can go game 1 of next year. And even then, Logan, I wouldn't play him back-to-backs for a while.
Yes, yeah. I mean, if you look at the Mavs right now, they're 23-28. They're quite a bit away from the Suns, obviously, but they're only 3 games ahead of the Grizzlies for next to last in the West. They're not too far back from being able to get a good lottery pick. I think they have to kind of tell Porzingis, yeah, we're not going to play you this year because we got to keep our top 5 pick. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, especially with Luka because he's healthy.
Right, and so you have Luka. You're assuming Kristaps is the player that he was before, which would be great for Dallas.
I mean, even if he's 80% of what he was before, that's still a really good player.
Does the future obviously revolves around those 2 players? Mm-hmm. Does it revolve around Rick Carlisle?
I think so. I think Rick Carlisle is a much better coach than he gets credit for. I think he works really well with a lot of older guys, and obviously Porzingis and Luka are not older guys, but he's done pretty well this year just by adding Luka. They're a much more exciting and more fun team than they were last year, and I think that's kind of just what he brings to the game. But now you basically, by bringing in Porzingis, I'm not going to say you're bringing in Dirk, but you're bringing in a guy that's a lot like Dirk. And Rick Carlisle and Dirk had a lot of success together, so I think he kind of knows how to play with guys like that who play that kind of style. I would expect them. I expect him to be the coach going forward.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a lot of success. You mentioned they're kind of like a EuroLeague team now. But future is bright, I think, for the Knicks if they do it right. But you kind of have to worry about that. So I don't think they should be upset, especially if they weren't going to get anything for him anyways.
Yeah.
So
it's so weird that this trade happened in an hour.
5 minutes, reportedly, with the meeting with Porzingis.
That is
5 minutes.
That's kind of suspect.
It is a little suspect. By the way, they had to have known that Dallas Knicks game the night before because did you see Luka and Kristaps? Everyone knew that trade was going to happen. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk about all the fun Super Bowl prop bets. We'll be right back after this.
One-on-One is brought to you by Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back to One on One on Suddenlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318. It's time to get to some prop bets of Super Bowl 53, but I'm going to ask you really quickly. The NFL Awards is Saturday night. Who is your league MVP?
I think you already know, but it's your guy.
My guy.
It's Patrick Mahomes. How could it be anyone else? Do you have the list of candidates in front of you, like the odds for who's going to win?
I have the odds for the actual game, but I don't know if I have the odds for league MVP.
Okay, I was just going to try and guess the candidate. I would guess it's like Patrick Mahomes, maybe Tom Brady, Drew Brees. I feel like Drew Brees kind of played himself out of it.
Yeah, it's Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
I would think at the end here. So it's Patrick Mahomes minus 250, Drew Brees plus 170.
Yeah.
So
give me Patrick Mahomes.
Vegas is giving it to Patrick Mahomes essentially, but
yeah,
we'll know on Saturday night. But 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Only one of 3 guys to ever do that.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan and have Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback. You have Case Keenum, but you also have, you're a Broncos fan, you've won the championship, so you can't complain.
Yeah.
Right? 10-year window before you can start to complain. Because I'm sitting at 49 years right now. My dad's like 60, and he saw when he was 6, and it's been a lifetime. So we've got Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be the league MVP, I would think, Saturday night.
Right.
So the future is bright for Mahomes ahead. So it's time to get into the Super Bowl prop bets, and we will start with the coin toss prop bets. And we'll do a couple others, but these I'm going to write down for you, Logan.
Okay.
And we'll talk about them again on Monday. So we'll start with, what will the coin toss be, heads or tails?
Tails never fails, Reed. Give me tails.
That is false because it has failed 17 times in 53 years. But you're taking tails.
I am.
So tails, I'm going to take...
Only 17?
Yes, I'm taking heads just...
I like my odds if it only fails 17 times in 53 years.
Potential there. It was heads last year in Super Bowl 52, and the Patriots lost to the Eagles. They won the coin toss. But which team will win the coin toss?
The Patriots.
You're taking the Patriots. I'm going to take the Patriots as well. Those guys seem to always win the coin toss.
They probably cheated, and they already know what it's going to be. So I'm going to take the Patriots.
We're talking about Patriots coin tosses, and I'm reliving some PTSD from the AFC Championship game. But anyways, who will win, or will the team that wins the coin toss win the game?
Yes.
Yes. So you're basically taking the Patriots to win the game.
Yep.
I will say, yes as well. We'll get into that. So now it's time for the halftime prop bets. And these are kind of ridiculous.
That's the best part about it, though.
Some of them I don't know. We won't get into all of them. But how many songs will be played? The over-under is at 7.5. I will give you a little insight. Last year, Justin Timberlake played 11 songs, and that was about 11 songs too many. But the year before that was Lady Gaga at 7, 6, 8, 6, and 9 the years before that. So the under kind of skews those numbers, right?
Yeah.
But the over-under is at 7.5 for Maroon 5.
I don't know how these guys at Vegas do that, because that is such a close number. Like, I want to say 7. It's Maroon 5 and Tyga, right?
It's a conglomerate of people.
So,
Travis Scott. I mean,
I'm going over. I'm going to go over.
We're going over.
I feel like there's too many people that are going to be out there.
I will take the under. Now, what will the first song be performed by Maroon 5? Now, She Will Be Loved is at plus 2,200. I don't think you're going to be seeing a depressive, love song at the Super Bowl, but you never know. But the best odds are, makes me wonder, is even. One More Night. I don't even know half these songs.
I don't either. I've not heard a Maroon 5 song in a long time, I guess.
Moves Like Jagger is plus 600. Animals plus 700. Sugar plus 900. And a Payphone goes down the list. I'm just going to say...
I'm going to say Payphone.
I'm going to say Sugar. Just because that, I guess that works for me. I don't really know. And you're saying Payphone.
I'm saying Payphone. That's a hit. When was that? Like 2000?
Well, these prop bets are actually make me watch the halftime Super Bowl show. All right, so this is, Anissa mentioned this earlier.
Yes.
This is the best prop bet that I thought you would like in this halftime show. Will Maroon 5 play Sweet Victory as a SpongeBob tribute? Yes, minus 230. No, plus 160.
I'm so happy that yes is the yes.
So you're saying yes.
Yes.
I'm going to say yes as well.
There we go.
Because Vegas is
Vegas
leading.
Is smart. Payphone came out in 2012, by the way, so what a way to start the Super Bowl.
The last time people listened to Maroon 5, but here we are in the Super Bowl. But there's some other odds here that we won't get into for the halftime show. Now it's time for Gatorade props.
Oh, these are good. Okay.
All right. So the team that will win the Super Bowl, if I can find it here, or what color do you think it will be if the team wins? You've got your choices are yellow, orange, clear, purple, or blue.
Why would anyone want clear Gatorade? I heard Anissa says orange. I kind of like orange, but I'm going to go yellow.
You're going to
I'm going yellow.
Yellow. All right. I'm going to say red.
Are you saying the Patriots?
The Patriots will be red.
Okay.
But here, can I change my pick?
Sure.
I'm going to go blue. You know why?
Okay.
Because both teams
have
blue, and
that's a safe bet.
That helps my odds a little bit. Lime green plus yellow is plus 250. That is the best odds. Blue is at plus 400, so that's the third worst odds. I'm not liking my chance there. Last year it was yellow. Super Bowl 51 did not have a Gatorade bath because the Patriots went straight to celebrating because it was a touchdown to win the game. Orange, blue, orange the years before that. So the last time the Patriots did do it, they did use blue. So I'm going blue. You're going with yellow for our Gatorade odds on the prop bets. Next is the interesting one, the cross sports bets.
I was reading some of these. These are, I'm a big fan of these.
Okay, so we're going to have to remember these because there's too many to write down.
Okay.
We're going to skip, we'll do a couple NHL ones for Barrett, but that's the only reason that anyone would talk about the NHL. What will be higher? Total games or total goals in the NHL on Sunday, or Sonny Michel rushing attempts in the Super Bowl?
How many games? Do you know how many NHL games there are?
So there are 30 NHL teams. Assume they're all playing 15. Probably not all going to play on the same day. Probably around 12.
There are 3 games on Sunday.
I was 9 off.
I'm going to go with Sonny Michel rushing attempts.
You're going to go with Sonny Michel rush attempts. I'll go with the rushing attempts as well because it doesn't seem like goals come at necessarily a premium. What will be higher, total scored goals by the Canadians against the Oilers or Robert Woods' receptions in the Super Bowl?
I'm going to take goals. I'm going to take the goals by the Canadians against the Oilers.
They're the most successful NHL team, but I don't think they're that good anymore.
I think the Oilers are bad, though. Barrett's kind of been giving me some crash course stuff in hockey, and the Oilers have Connor McDavid, who is awesome, but the rest of the team is awful. So I'm gonna take the Canadians. I hope I'm making Barrett proud in there.
You mentioned Connor McDavid. What will be higher, total shots on goal by Connor McDavid or total successful field goals in the Super Bowl?
Shots on goal.
Shots on goal from Connor McDavid.
I'm high on the hockey right now.
That is a problem. We will discuss that after the show. It is apparent that as your friend, I need to save you. That will take place after the show. No hockey on one-on-one. What will be higher, Toronto Raptors team total on Sunday or total rush yards by the Los Angeles Rams?
Ooh.
I'm taking the rush yards.
Yeah.
Minus 155 on the rush yards or plus 115.
I got to see who the Raptors play. But I like the rushing yards. I just gotta see who they play first.
What will be higher, Serge Ibaka rebounds on Sunday or total punts in the Super Bowl?
Ibaka rebounds.
Serge Ibaka is minus 155. I will take Ibaka as well. What will be higher, total made three-point shots by Danny Green on February 3rd or Tom Brady touchdown passes in the Super Bowl?
God, these are so good. Because I was like, Danny Green will make like 2 or 3 threes, and then it's like Tom Brady. I'm gonna go Danny Green threes. I feel like the Patriots are gonna run the ball a lot, and especially if they get in the red zone.
So you're going Danny Green threes. I'll agree with you. All right, couple left here. What will be higher, Kawhi Leonard points on February 3rd?
Ooh, they're playing the Clippers.
Or the Rams total points in the Super Bowl?
Rams total points.
Right.
I feel like the Rams are going to put up some heavy points.
All right, this is for our friend Jason Calicio. What will be higher, Knicks win total in 2019 or Tom Brady's completions in Super Bowl 53?
I'm going to go with Tom Brady completions. I feel like he always gets around 20-something, high 20s. The Knicks are at 10 wins. There's about 30-something games left. I don't think they're going to win more than
Tom Brady.
15. Yeah.
All right.
The Knicks have an incentive to lose, so I'm gonna go Tom Brady.
We'll do the last two here. What will be higher, James Harden points versus Utah on Saturday or Tom Brady pass attempts in Super Bowl 53? I'm going to take the pass attempts.
I will also take the pass attempts. I like Rudy Gobert and the Donovan Mitchell, those guys. I feel like they can kind of not slow James Harden down because we've talked about that a lot. No one's been able to slow him down. But I feel like Tom Brady's going to get his passes in.
Okay, I keep saying two more because I just keep seeing ones that I really want to do. What will be higher, Jared Goff passing yards on Sunday or Manny Machado's next contract amount of millions?
Manny Machado's contract and amount of millions.
I'm taking Jared Goff.
I'm
taking Jared Goff.
I feel like Manny Machado's going to make a lot of money.
What will be higher, Russell Westbrook's points, assist, rebounds total versus the Celtics or C.J. Anderson rush yards?
C.J. Anderson rush yards. Because you can have a monster triple-double and have like 50. You know what I mean? Like that can add up to 50-something. C.J. Anderson's been a beast lately.
He has. He's really replaced Todd Gurley. No one would have thought. What will be higher, Tiger Woods' first-round score at the Masters or Todd Gurley rushing yards in Super Bowl 53? That's assuming Tiger performs at Augusta. I'm taking Tiger.
I'm going to take Todd Gurley. I feel like the Rams have kind of got a running back. I feel like what do you think Tiger's score is going to be? You think it's going to be higher than?
I think he'll probably shoot in the 80s because he hasn't done great. But my thing is, Todd Gurley doesn't seem to be healthy. There's something going on with the Rams running back.
Yeah.
No one knows, but I don't think he'll have a big performance.
Okay. I think I just had Tiger shooting a little bit low. I think I had him somewhere in the mid-70s. And I feel like Todd Gurley can get at least to 80 yards, but how is Vegas so smart? Who comes up with these? Whose job is it to sit there and be like...
Well, remember, the odds makers are failed bettors.
That's true.
Because they don't bet anymore.
Yeah.
Bettors don't make the odds, so you never know.
Yeah.
So that was a little fun. We missed kind of all the exotic ones. I'm going to ask you one more, and it's a random question. Will Rob Gronkowski retire after the game?
Yes.
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 Yes. I'm going to say yes as well. I think this is Gronkowski's last game. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back, and give our actual game predictions for Super Bowl 53. You're watching One on One. We'll be right back after this.
One on One is brought to you by Oklahoma Air National Guard. Contact Oklahoma Air National Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG or visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stallard Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They are also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back.
Stillwater Medical Center now offers a convenient way to view your health information online. It's secure, easy, and free. Our hospital and clinic patient portals allow you to view results and reports, medications and allergies, track visit histories, view upcoming appointment information, and see your statements. To enroll, go to stillwatermedical.com and click on the patient portal link near the top right of the page. If you have questions, please feel free to call 405-533-6010.
It's the big dance, playing great football all year, but this is the last one. You got to play your best football. This is the biggest stage, the biggest stage I ever played on. So we just got to keep playing football at a high level. Don't forget what got us here, but, leave everything out there one more time. One more game, and opportunity to be a world champion.
Welcome back to One on One, live on Sunlink Channel 112 and live from Studio 318 as well. All right, it's time for our game predictions of Super Bowl 53. The 9th time Tom Brady has taken the Patriots to the biggest game. The Rams have not been there since Tom Brady beat them in 2002, I believe. So the Rams are 13-3. The Patriots are 11-5. The Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. The over/under 56.5. So Vegas is telling you that they're going with New England a little bit, but Logan, they were favored last year, as well. How can the Patriots win this game, and then how can the Rams win this game?
Patriots can win this game by controlling the clock, keeping Aaron Donald out of the equation, make him a non-factor. And then on the defensive side, just don't give up big plays. Sean McVay loves to be creative and get guys, especially Brandon Cooks. I feel like he's going to be looking to have a big game against his former team. I think you got to eliminate the deep ball and just control the clock if you're New England. And if you're the Rams, basically you do the opposite. And Ndamukong Suh has to have a major game because obviously Aaron Donald's going to be getting the majority of the attention on the line. Marcus Peters has to control himself, I feel like, in the secondary. Yeah. I feel like he can't, try to draw any. He can't draw any penalties. He can't be trying to be too flashy and then get burnt, as he likes to do. And then on offense, I think they just have to kind of play the Patriots style, dink and dunk, move down the field, kind of control the pace. Just don't do what New England doesn't want you to do. And I think if they kind of dink and dunk it down the field, they can catch them sleeping with a deep pass, or try to get Todd Gurley involved in the passing game somehow, something like that. So it's good. I think it's really, really difficult for the Rams to find a good game plan.
The MVP, or the most important person in this game and on this the staffs, is who?
For either team, or for
just as a whole?
Probably Tom Brady.
I'm going to say Donald. It is Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line coach of the New England Patriots.
Okay.
He's the best in the league at what he does. And quite frankly, he retired 3 years ago, and the Patriots' offensive line went from one of the best in the league to awful. He means that much. There's Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald. This is a game that Ndamukong Suh will play, and you look at their attitudes, they probably want to break Tom Brady like a toothpick.
Right.
They don't like this guy. If they can keep them from getting in the backfield and let Tom Brady be comfortable back there, which I think they will do. Aaron Donald is a beast, and he's the best at what he does.
Right.
But the Chargers had the best pass rush in the league. The Chiefs had a front four. Everything else was bad. But they had Chris Jones, and they could get pressure on Tom Brady. They didn't let either team do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it stops here, because in the biggest moments, this organization typically gets it right.
Right.
So if they can protect, I think Tom Brady can dink and dunk what he does and matriculate down. I don't think the Rams secondary is all that good. They've talked trash about that, and quite frankly, they're going to be playing very emotional.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to give my game prediction. And what's my rule? You
Never
always
bet.
take
Yeah.
the proven winner.
Right.
You always take the champion. If Clemson and Alabama plays again tomorrow, it may be stupid, but I'm taking Alabama. If the Patriots and Eagles have a rematch, I'm taking the Patriots. I just will. I'll always take the Yankees. And sometimes you lose. We've seen them lose 3 times on the biggest stage.
Yep.
But I've also seen them win 5 times. And I see them win in the 9 AFC Championship games. Going to what? How many of them are straight? 8 straight or whatever?
Yeah, 8 straight.
I mean, I may be totally unwise for doing this because, quite frankly, the Chargers were the better team athletically. The Chiefs were far and away the better team athletically. The Rams are far and away the better team athletically. But Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowl rings. He's been there now 9 times. Jared Goff is 2 years older than we are. Marcus Peters is immature.
Yeah.
Aqib Talib, while he's a veteran, is immature at times. Sean McVay is in his 30s. Bill Belichick is almost in his 70s. They've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
I mean, Bill Belichick helped Lawrence Taylor become one of the best linebackers of all time. That's how long Bill Belichick's been around winning championships in the National Football League. Rams are the better team when you line them up. If they're playing in the schoolyard, they're the better team. But I'm taking the Patriots. It will be close, but I think 31-28, I think Tom Brady drives them down the field with 3 minutes left, and Gostkowski kicks a winning field goal with time expiring. But I'm always, always taking the 5-time Super Bowl champ.
I can't disagree with anything you said. You made some great points there. I also will not pick against the Patriots. They have, like you said, if they play the Eagles tomorrow, or last year they rematch however many times, I'll take the Patriots just about every time. And I might look stupid like I did last year when I picked the Patriots. And you know what? I picked the Patriots the year before when they played the Falcons. That looked stupid for a while, but they turned that around. That's just what they do. They have the ability to win any game. They're the best situational football team, or I should say organization ever, because obviously this isn't their best team ever. But they're just they put themselves in a situation. They just figure out how to win in that situation. And I don't think anyone on the Rams can do that. I don't think anyone on the Rams can see themselves in a situation. Let's say the Patriots are driving down the field and they're doing a certain thing over and over again. I don't know who on the Rams is smart enough to say, we need to change this to find success. The Patriots do that. The Patriots look at every team individually and say, what do you like to do the most? Now let's stop it.
They take it away.
They take it away every single time. We've talked about it almost ad nauseum on this show. They took away Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, thank you for that, Logan.
I'm sorry. They took away the Chargers pass rush, like you said. They do it all the time. They used to do it against Denver when Denver was really good. They were able to take away what Denver did best. That's just who they are. That's how Bill Belichick and Tom Brady operate. They're probably the 2 guys at their position, coach and quarterback, who spend the most time in the film room ever. They figure out what everyone loves to do. They know it by heart. They almost probably know it better than most teams. They probably know what the Chargers like to do more than the Chargers, because they have owned the Chargers for the better half of 20 years.
Yes.
I mean, you just can't smartly pick against these guys. I always have a harder time coming up with a score than you do. I always feel like I never really have a feel for how the game's going to go. You always do much better than I do at that kind of stuff. I'm going to say the Patriots win 35-27.
35-27.
Yep. And they stop the Rams on the drive late in the game, and Tom Brady assumes victory formation and kneels out the clock.
Yeah, well, we've seen it
a lot
of times before.
Yep.
Another kind of key in this game that you're looking at is, that prop bet, will a non-quarterback throw a touchdown? You said it will be Julian Edelman, but you're looking at those trick plays, the fake punts.
Yeah.
I just worry that Sean McVay, although he has a photographic memory, he's got a very high football IQ. Mm-hmm. You just have to worry that he's going to get in his own head.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to try something that he thinks will be, this is going to prove something on the biggest stage. No, that's not how you beat the New England Patriots.
Right.
That's how you lose to the New England Patriots. And I just have to worry that they're going to come out emotional. They're going to come out, you saw Nickel Coleman-Roby, he's talking trash, and then he backtracks on it. It's just, you don't see that stuff from the Patriots.
Right. And I will say, Sean Payton has shown, like you said, he can get in his own head and outsmart himself at times, and he definitely outsmarts opponents the majority of the time. But against the Saints, I saw something different. They go for that field goal at the end of the game to take the lead. That was something Bill Belichick would do. That was something he trusted his defense, and they committed a pass interference call, but they won the game.
Luckily,
that's what matters.
The flag was nowhere to be found. But yeah, Sean McVay, you just have to worry about what he's going to be able to do in this moment, and he may prove us wrong. The Rams may win. That's why you play the game on Sunday. Yep. But it's the biggest day really in America. I mean, it's national holiday.
Yeah.
It's Super Bowl Sunday. Are you going to watch the Puppy Bowl?
I want to. I have not actually watched the Puppy
Animal
Bowl in
Planet
a
watched
long,
the
long
Puppy Bowl.
time.
I haven't watched it either, but it's always, see the highlights on
Yeah.
Twitter. But everyone watches the big game. Maroon 5, the halftime show.
People that don't like football watch it. That's just...
That's true.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a ton of good commercials. We will be back on Monday to discuss everything that happened. There even may be more trades that take place in the NBA. James Harden's trying to keep that record alive of 30 points a game. It's now to...
It's up there.
It's up in the 20s.
Yes,
but
it is.
He's trying to keep that streak alive. But be sure to go to Gallagher-Iba Saturday night and watch the Cowboys take on K-State, 5 o'clock in Gallagher-Iba, and 5:30 Super Bowl Sunday. We'll be back on Monday to break down the biggest game. Thanks for watching 101. See you Monday.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.